Over the past decade, WWE have tried to find their next big multi-generational talent, with The Rock becoming one of the WWE's biggest names in the late 90s, and with Randy Orton acting as a pillar of the Ruthless Aggression era. WWE have looked hard in the sons and daughters of past wrestling legends to find their next big star with wrestling in their blood. But while they've seen plenty of success in people like Charlotte Flair, Roman Reigns, and even Dominic Mysterio, there are still plenty of second-generation wrestlers that fail to achieve the same success of their more well-known parents. And today's subject, unfortunately, falls in that category. The son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Ted Jr. had some pretty big shoes to fill upon arriving in WWE. But unlike his father, he just couldn't capture any sort of success during his time in the company. So what happened? How did the $1 Million son fail so miserably in the world of pro wrestling? And what exactly went wrong with the WWE career of Ted DiBiase Jr.? Well, upon arrival, DiBiase Jr. was positioned prominently on WWE programming. After his father personally walked on stage to introduce him on the May 26, 2008 edition of Monday Night Raw, DiBiase Jr. took to the mic to address the two men standing in the ring, Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes. The then World Tag Team Champions watched on as DiBiase Jr. declared that he was gunning for the tag straps, looking to replicate the tag team success of his father.
I am simply priceless.
From there, a match was made for the titles as DiBiase Jr. announced that he would reveal who his mystery partner would be before their match at Night of Champions, giving him the element of surprise. But in a twist that no one saw coming, Cody Rhodes would quickly attack Holly just before the bell, and Cody was then revealed by DiBiase as his chosen partner, with the new team getting the victory in a pretty quick fashion as Rhodes continued to hold the belt, albeit with a fresh new partner. And from there, the duo battled over the titles for several months, soon kicking off a feud with Crime Time leading into Unforgiven. As part of the feud, Crime Time would actually steal the belts for a spell, and this oddly enough brought out Randy Orton. Looking to light a fire under the multi-generational stars of the WWE, Randy criticized Cody and DiBiase for allowing Crime Time to take the belts from them, so this pushed the young stars into attacking their rivals and retaining their titles at Unforgiven. They also decided to add another superstar to their group in Manu, the son of Aka Anoa'i, and in order to help win over Orton's respect, the group went on to attack CM Punk and removing him from the championship scramble match for the World Heavyweight Championship later that night. But after losing the tag team titles to Kofi Kingston and CM Punk in October, Orton would attack DiBiase Jr., nailing him with a punt kick that wrote him off TV for the rest of the year. But when Ted eventually made his return, he would surprisingly end up joining both Orton and Rhodes in an attack on Manu and Sim Snuka, the two other members of the roster looking to join their emerging faction. And this would be, for all intents and purposes, the formation of Legacy. Consisting of Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase Jr., and Randy Orton, the group would dominate Raw throughout 2009. Orton was the clear leader of this group. He was the pretty much well-established one, with Cody Rhodes and DiBiase acting as the perfect henchmen for the Viper. And they soon targeted the very top of WWE, the McMahon family, in Orton's quest to become WWE champion. This began a feud between Orton and Triple H heading into WrestleMania 25 over the championship. But while Orton may have lost at WrestleMania, at Backlash, a six-man tag team match took place as Legacy defeated Triple H, Batista, and Shane McMahon, and per the stipulation of the match, Orton was crowned WWE champion. Throughout the next few months, Legacy would remain on top of Raw, and if anybody dared to cross them, they would brutally attack their new foe until ultimately getting what they want. For example, when Batista eventually won the WWE Championship from Randy at Extreme Rules, Rhodes and DiBiase would injure Batista in order for him to vacate the title, allowing Orton to earn the belt back at the Bash. But while DiBiase himself failed to capture any real championship success, he was a still big feature on Raw alongside the rest of Legacy, taking on some of the top names in the company. He even competed in a massive match against DX at SummerSlam. A statistic like that certainly shouldn't go unnoticed, with the feud between Legacy and DX acting as a focal point for WWE for the most of 2009. They traded victories with DX over the next few months, and with them actually getting a victory over Michaels and Trips at the Breaking Point pay-per-view. Hell, they even main evented Hell in a Cell that year, with the circulation of this feud taking place within the Cell structure. And of course, the Legends and DX would win the overall feud, but the fact that Cody and Ted were able to hold their own against Triple H and Shawn Michaels really showed people that these these young stars could have a great future ahead of them in pro wrestling. This was even one of Shawn's final feuds in the company, with his retirement match against The Undertaker taking place the following year, adding more importance to the rivalry in hindsight. The focus of the group always, however, remained on Randy Orton, as he fought against some of the top stars on Raw. John Cena, Kofi Kingston, and more all challenged Legacy to mixed results. At the Royal Rumble, Randy challenged Sheamus for the WWE Championship, but was unsuccessful in capturing the gold following interference from Cody that led to a DQ victory for Sheamus. Tension grew within the notably quick-to-anger Randy Orton, who attacked Cody after the match, and when DiBiase came out to calm him down, Randy attacked him too. So this eventually led Randy to leaving the group, with the final straw coming the following month after DiBiase managed to eliminate him in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Yes, you heard me correctly. Ted DiBiase Jr. eliminated Randy Orton in a match for the WWE Championship. And DiBiase and Cody remained as allies heading against him into WrestleMania 26, where a triple threat match was made between all three men. However, they were unable to remain on the same page throughout the match, both looking to destroy Orton on the grandest stage of them all, and this allowed the veteran Randy Orton to secure a victory over his former two proteges. Following WrestleMania, as Cody Rhodes was drafted over to SmackDown, DiBiase was left to fend for himself on the red brand, so he decided to double down on his previously existing character, acting more arrogant as the weeks went on, and eventually his father returned to Raw, giving him access to a large trust fund. This announcement also came with DiBiase handing his son the custom $1 million championship, looking to have him continue the legacy of the belt that he created. And this moment changed Ted Jr.'s character into one very similar to his father's, but this change may have actually been a terrible move for his career. Sure, DiBiase needed a rebrand following the implosion of Legacy, but giving him the same character as his father really exposed him. Trying to parody someone is one thing, but to actively steal their character is a whole nother matter. Especially because DiBiase Jr., to be blunt, just wasn't nearly as charismatic as his dad. He was always going to be compared to his father due to his pre-existing connection to him, and this was always going to be something that the fans would find out in due time, but to have him literally take his father's gimmick, well, that just really made people think to themselves, oh, he's just his dad but without any of the charm. Hell, he even hired Virgil as his servant, the same exact guy who served under his father back in the 80s. This soon killed his career. While he once main evented a pay-per-view against Triple H and Shawn Michaels, his first pay-per-view match following the implosion of Legacy was against another lower mid-carder in R-Truth, where he lost. The rest of his WWE career saw him pretty much competing as a jobber, always mixing it up in the undercard with guys like Sin Cara and Goldust, and when compared to Cody Rhodes, who had won the Intercontinental Championship multiple times, it was clear that DiBiase Jr. just wasn't cutting it in WWE. This, along with his personal struggles with depression at the time, actually led to Ted leaving the WWE in 2013. But while he was away, DiBiase looked to be moving on and living his best life. He started his own non-profit organization and began managing several businesses. However, his father's pro wrestling persona left a lasting imprint on DiBiase Jr., with the $1 million man known for scamming people out of their money in WWF. People would soon find that DiBiase Jr. was similar to his father in that respect, just not within the confines of a fictional wrestling program. In 2022, the Mississippi Department of Human Services sued DiBiase Jr. and several others in his companies for over $20 million. Apparently, he has used those companies to steal millions of dollars of welfare money for his own personal means, and this money was designed to go towards helping those in need of financial assistance in Mississippi, but it went towards his companies, essentially into Teddy's pockets. Yes, DiBiase allegedly stole money from the poor in order to make himself a $1 million man. How ironic.
Simply priceless.
But with DiBiase Jr. now on the cusp of receiving some serious jail time, the question still remains amongst pro wrestling fans. How did everything end up going so wrong? I mean, I remember there being a rumor that I heard a while back that apparently Vince McMahon wanted DiBiase Jr. to eventually break The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. It seems like a lot of people had high hopes for him, and then it's kind of crazy how his career ended up turning out. But to be brutally honest, DiBiase Jr. was just not that interesting of a competitor. Sure, he had the look and he had the higher-ups behind him, but he just couldn't capture the imagination of those watching. I mean, like I said, DiBiase Jr. at one point was scheduled to break The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. That's how much Vince McMahon believed in him. However, a lack of charisma really dampened Teddy's time in the WWE. He was average at best, having less than 2 years of in-ring experience before landing on the main roster. And while some wrestlers could maybe find their footing in WWE with such little experience, especially with those who have been around the business since childhood like him, Ted Jr. just didn't have that much needed it factor. wrestler. And with his recent scandals in Mississippi, I can say with complete certainty that we will never see him return to the ring. The $1 million dream ended up being a $1 million nightmare for Ted DiBiase Jr. Ironic, given how his former partner Cody Rhodes has become literally one of the biggest names in professional wrestling today, and arguably, I know Randy's injured, but arguably more popular than Randy Orton, which is crazy. And he has grown into the American nightmare of professional wrestling, becoming a main event talent in WWE. And while Cody has been off making a name for himself for years now, Ted DiBiase Jr. has fallen into obscurity. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching.